Well, hey guys, today on Next Gen Online, we are talking about one of my favorite things, Christmas. Today we are talking about Christmas because it's only a few more weeks until that holiday is actually here. And we want to help you guys prepare your hearts in really meaningful ways for Christmas. And we're going to have a little bit of fun because this is a time to celebrate and rejoice and have some fun. I don't know if any of you guys, maybe at your house, have this thing called an advent calendar. We have a couple, like you've probably seen several different ones. Like we've got this one, it's got a piece of candy in it that you pick out each day leading up to Christmas. Here you go, Trev, Kit Kat for you. We've got this really cool one. I love, maybe some of your advent calendars have little toys in them. Every day you get to anticipate what the new toy is gonna be, and it's so very exciting because today is the 13th. We're gonna check out and we're gonna find out. Oh, Bambi, and that's sweet. Here you go, John. I got you another deer for your collection. Or some of you might have advent calendars that are a little bit more focused on what they're supposed to be focused on. Because newsflash, not all about the candy or the tiny Disney characters. Sorry, it's all about Jesus. We just happen to have this advent calendar where every single day you take out a different little character as you're building the nativity set. Here's Mary, here she is, getting ready to have baby Jesus. So maybe you guys have these things called advent calendars, and you've always thought that Advent actually meant countdown, because that's what this would make it seem like, that Advent means counting down to something. Newsflash, I'm going to enlighten you guys a little tiny bit. Advent doesn't mean countdown. Oh, surprising. Advent actually means arrival. The Advent is the coming. It's the coming of someone or something noteworthy. That's what Advent actually means. So throughout the season leading up to Christmas, what we're doing throughout Advent is remembering something that's coming in the future. But for us, we're remembering it because it already happened. Does that make any sense? For all the Old Testament, for all the Israelites, prophets were looking forward to this Advent. They were looking forward to this coming of a king, the promise of a Messiah that had been prophesied. This Messiah was going to be born of a virgin. He was going to be born in Bethlehem. He was going to reign as the King of Kings. And so they were anticipating this Advent, this arrival. But for us, what is so exciting for us is that we already know who it was, when it was, where it was, how it was. We have that. And that is so awesome. So throughout our time of Advent remembering, we're actually Advent looking forward while we're remembering, if that makes any sense at all. But I know some of us get so very mixed up in all the little Advent candies, all the little Advent gifts, and that's where our head goes. And we forget that we're actually looking forward to the birth of Jesus because of all the amazing things that he provides. So what are some of those things that we're celebrating? Let me read you just a couple passages really, really quick. This is awesome. I love this. This is Isaiah chapter 9. And this was one of those prophecies before Jesus actually came that told people who he was going to be. It says this: "For those who live in the land of deep darkness, a light will shine. For a child is born to us, a son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." They didn't know that they were talking about Jesus. We know that. So we get to celebrate that with hope as we're leading up to Advent. Here's another thing. Galatians chapter 4 says this. It says, Galatians chapter 4, verse 4 and 5. It's highlighted in my Bible, so it's a little bit hard to see. I should not highlight it because then I'd be able to actually read it. But it says this: "But when the right time came," the right time, there it was. "When the right time came, God sent his son, born of a woman, subject to the law. God sent him to buy freedom for us who were slaves to the law so that he could adopt us as his very own children." Isn't that an awesome gift that we get to celebrate over the next few days leading up to Christmas? That when the time was right, God sent his son so that he could adopt us into his family, so that he could make us whole, so that he could set us free. John 1:16 says that out of his fullness, he has given us gracious gift after gracious gift. And there are a lot of things that we could list off that Jesus has given us. I don't know if you guys have realized this, but if you're watching this on the day that it's being released, December 13th, P.S., it's actually 12 days until Christmas. Maybe you've heard that song before, the 12 days of Christmas, blah, 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 blah. All kinds of gifts after gifts after gifts, right? Very random gifts, like 12 drummers strumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping. Sometimes they're Sith lords. 9 ladies dancing. 8 maids a milking. Thank you so much for that because I'm getting a little thirsty. And it goes on. You know how it goes. One thing, have you guys ever noticed exactly how many birds are in that song? Like it's insane. So many birds, geese, pigeons, whatever, who knows. This little guy and a partridge in a pear tree. There he is. So over the next 12 days, these are not the gifts I necessarily want you guys to be focusing on or thinking about, but we do have something for you guys. A 12 days of Christmas sort of scripture countdown, as it were. I put all mine on a little scroll. Look at that. There are my 12 verses. You guys don't need to put them on a scroll because Trevor, our friend Trevor, is going to be kind enough to let you guys know what they are each and every day on our Instagram, social media. So make sure you check that out. And over the next 12 days, focus for just a minute, not on the candy in your advent calendar or what kind of presents you're going to find under the tree, but focus on the true meaning that we celebrate. Focus on Jesus and get your hearts in the right place for a tiny minute every single day. Love you guys. Merry Christmas.